Here we are again, everybody. We're in the Great Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee, and this time we're at the Bales Cemetery, and it's close to Gatlinburg in Sevier County. And the earliest burial that we found here is 1804. And if you notice the map, it shows that the cemetery is southeast of Gatlinburg, and it's off of Roaring Fork Road. Let me give you just a few seconds to look at that. And we've got a view of the cemetery. And another view. And here's one more view. This is a really cool looking cemetery. The photo of the stone wall that runs around the graveyard. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Somebody's put some time in that. Now, we had to go to find a grave to find the people that are listed in this cemetery. And there's only 44 names. And it looks like to me that there are a lot more graves here. A lot of rock markers. And unfortunately, what I have found out, there are a lot of babies buried here. So this little family cemetery, there's not many pictures. There's not a lot of history here. But we still need to let it be known for those who are looking for ancestors. The name of Bales, there's the name of Reagan. There's many more names in here that a lot of you ancestor hunters might be able to connect some dots. I hope so. So let's get started. We got Amos Garfield Bales, and first baby, he was born and died December the 19th of 1912. We have Caleb Bales, 1839 to 1914, and we have his wife, Elizabeth M. Reagan Bales, 1832 to 1912, and we do have a picture of them. Love these old pictures. And we have their son, Daniel Reagan Bales, 1874 to 1901. Dola Willard Bales, 1909 to 1921. And unfortunately, we did find a death certificate on Dola, and he had accidentally shot himself with a shotgun. That's awful. And that's happened a lot. We have Emma F. Ogle Bales, 1880 to 1902. And here's her picture. Now we have Ephraim Bales, 1869 to 1926. Now, here's something really cool. His home is actually maintained by the Smoky Mountain National Park as an historic site along the Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail. That's cool. I don't know if I've been there. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've been there. So we have his son Harrison Luther Bales, 1894 to 1922. And Harrison served as a private in the U.S. Army during World War I. Ida Bales, 1879 to 1897. Jessa Bales, born and died June the 4th of 1922. Lily Bales, born and died December the 23rd of 1909. Lula Bales, born and died November the 4th of 1899. And her little hand-carved headstone. Mayford Bales, born and died November the 22nd of 1923. Martha Bales, she was born on August the 9th of 1917, and she died on August the 12th of 1917, just 3 days old. I told you there's a lot of babies here. We have Otis or Odos L. Bales. If you look at the spelling, it's O-D-O-S, 1901 to 1920. Roxy Evelyn Bales, 1923 to 1925. Another baby, just under 2 years old. Elizabeth Whitehorn Garland, 1894 to 1956. And according to her death certificate that we found, she died in Texas from a gastric ulcer. We have Dewey Allen Ogle, and he was born and he died April of 1904. Gilbert Ogle, 1841 to 1892. And we have his military headstone. Gilbert served as a private in the Company A of the 39th Tennessee Mounted Infantry of the Confederate Army during the Civil War. So, to me, what I've found so far with the Smoky Mountain people, the Cades Cove, I found more Union than I have Confederate. So I guess it was a war of brother against brother, like they said. Bad war. James Newton Ogle, 1884 to 1914. Julia Ann Reagan Ogle, 1838 to 1890. L.A. Ogle, 1860 to 1943. Melinda Parthena Cogdell Ogle, 1859 to 1938, and she was known as Linda. Myrtle Jane Reagan Ogle, 1894 to 1984, and they called her Myrtie. We have her husband, Oscar Ernest Ogle, 1892 to 1975. We do have a picture of them. We have Quentin Kermit Ogle, 1922 to 1923, another baby. And unfortunately, here's another baby, Quentin Ogle, July of 1933 to March of 1934, only 8 months old. Alfred Reagan, 1857 to 1928. Now look at this picture. Let's just stop and look at this picture. Look at the clothes. He's holding a Bible. We don't know if he was a preacher or not because we haven't found that information. But the stripes on the pants and you can see the pocket watch, it looks like a rope to me instead of a chain coming out. It's just so typical clothing for that era. I love this picture. Now we have his wife Martha Bales Reagan, 1864 to 1929, and we have a picture of them. Els or Alice Reagan, we don't have a birth date for this person, but we do know that they passed in 1881. And it is a hand carved headstone. You can barely make out the word born. I'm sure that it's probably weathered away over time. Unfortunately, that happens. And now we have Cora May Reagan, 1898 to 1899, another baby, and her little carved headstone. Emma Reagan, 1915 to 1916. She does have a newer headstone. Lewis Reagan, we don't have any dates for him. Martha Jane Ogle Reagan, 1818 to 1879, they called her Jenny. Martha Melinda Reagan. She was born and she died February the 17th of 1929. Now, we have quite a few graves with no pictures, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you the names in case you're needing them for your ancestry. We have Ann Smith Bales, 1784 to 1826. Asher Bales, 1784 to 1804. And Asher's grave is actually the oldest in the cemetery that we found. That it's listed, so they may be older ones, we don't know, but he is the oldest. We have Caleb Bales, 1780 to 1845. Ephraim Bales, we don't have any birth date, but we know he died in 1897. And an infant son of the Bales family who was born and died 1832. We have William Bales, and look at the Bales and Bills. It's the variations in the last name spellings. So this is William Bales, 1747 to 1814. So I would consider some of these people earlier settlers, first settlers. James Reagan Sr., 1855 to 1914. And unfortunately, the last person in this cemetery that we found is Martha Ellen Reagan, August 9th of 1880 to January 3rd of 1881, just 5 months old. I am so shocked at the children here. I know it's just no medicine. They did the best they could. A lot of tears hit that ground. I'm sure of it. It's just heart-wrenching to see all the babies. But this is going to finish our look at the Bales Cemetery in the Great Smoky Mountains. We are going to try to find another, and you know, a lot of them may have 11, may have 5, may have 6. We don't know, but we'd like to put them out there for you. Some of the videos may be a little longer than others, but we will do our best to find the history of these people. I did notice, however, that a lot of these people, some of the Bale family, or Bales, some of their kin, like their parents, is in the White Oak Flat Cemetery that we had already done. So that's pretty cool. You know, you just connect the dots there, and like I said, thank you for all of our new subscribers. We sure appreciate it. I know sometimes it can be boring if we can't find a lot of history or a lot of pictures, but if you're like me, I don't care. I just love the history and the finding people that may be in my ancestral tree. So we will see you next week with another Smoky Mountain Cemetery, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.